the heart of the frozen north. In the heart of Iceland, where the glaciers meet the volcanic plains, a young reindeer named Freya was born under the shimmering lights of the aurora borealis. Her coat was a soft, silvery gray, and her eyes sparkled like the icy streams that crisscrossed the tundra. Freya was no ordinary reindeer. She was destined for greatness, though she didn't know it yet. Freya grew up in a small herd that roamed the rugged landscapes of the Vatnajökull region. Her mother, Ira, was a matriarch of the herd, wise and strong, with antlers that seemed to touch the sky. Her father, Thorin, was a silent guardian, always watching over the herd with a steady gaze. Freya loved her family deeply, but she often felt a restlessness in her heart, a longing for something more. One crisp winter morning, as the herd grazed on lichen and moss, Freya noticed a strange scent on the wind. It was faint, but it carried with it a sense of urgency. She lifted her head, her nostrils flaring as she tried to pinpoint the source. The other reindeer seemed oblivious, but Freya couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. That night, as the herd huddled together for warmth, Freya had a dream. In her dream, she saw a great mountain, its peak shrouded in mist. At the base of the mountain, a figure stood, a majestic stag with antlers that glowed like the northern lights. The stag spoke to her, his voice deep and resonant. "Freya," he said, "the heart of the frozen north is in danger. You must journey to the mountain and find the crystal of Elder. Only then can the balance be restored." Freya woke with a start, her heart pounding. She looked around at her sleeping herd, their breath rising in soft clouds in the cold air. She knew she had to follow the stag's call, but the thought of leaving her family filled her with sadness. The next morning, Freya approached her mother. "I must leave," she said, her voice trembling. "There is something I must do." Ira looked at her daughter with understanding eyes. "I knew this day would come," she said. "You have always been different, Freya. Go, and may the spirits of the north guide you." Freya set out alone, her hooves crunching on the frozen ground. The landscape was vast and unforgiving, but she felt a strange sense of purpose driving her forward. As she traveled, she encountered many challenges: blinding snowstorms, treacherous crevasses, and the ever-present threat of predators. One day, as she crossed a narrow ridge, Freya heard a faint cry. She followed the sound and found a young Arctic fox trapped in a crevice. The fox's fur was matted with snow, and its eyes were wide with fear. "Please," the fox whimpered, "help me." Freya carefully lowered herself into the crevice, using her antlers to gently lift the fox to safety. The fox shook the snow from its fur and looked up at Freya with gratitude. "Thank you," it said. "My name is Scotty. I will never forget your kindness." Freya smiled. "I'm Freya. I'm on a journey to the mountain. Do you know the way?" Scotty's eyes widened. "The mountain? That's a dangerous path. But I will guide you as far as I can." With Scotty by her side, Freya continued her journey. The fox proved to be a valuable companion, her keen senses helping them navigate the treacherous terrain. As they traveled, Freya learned more about the Crystal of Elder and the ancient legend surrounding it. "The crystal is said to hold the power of the northern lights," Scotty explained. "It keeps the balance between ice and fire, life and death. But it has been stolen by the Shadow Stag, a creature of darkness who seeks to plunge the north into eternal winter." Freya's heart sank. How can I defeat such a powerful foe? Scotty looked at her with determination. "You are not alone, Freya. The spirits of the north are with you, and you have already shown great courage and kindness. That is your strength." As they approached the mountain, the air grew colder and the sky darkened. The Shadow Stag's presence was palpable, a malevolent force that seemed to seep into the very ground. Freya and Scotty pressed on, their resolve unwavering. At the base of the mountain, Freya and Scotty were confronted by the Shadow Stag. His form was massive, his antlers twisted and blackened like charred wood. His eyes glowed with a cold, malevolent light. "You dare challenge me?" the Shadow Stag growled. I am the master of the North. The crystal is mine." Freya stepped forward, her heart pounding but her voice steady. "The crystal does not belong to you. It belongs to the North, to all who call this land home. I will not let you destroy it." The shadow stag laughed, a sound that echoed like thunder. "Then you will perish with the rest of them." The battle was fierce. The shadow stag charged at Freya, his antlers slashing through the air like blades. Freya dodged and countered, her own antlers clashing against his. Scotty darted around the stag's feet, distracting him with her quick movements. As the fight raged on, Freya felt a surge of energy within her. She remembered the words of the stag in her dream, the strength of her family, and the kindness she had shown to Scotty. She focused all of that energy into one final charge. With a mighty leap, Freya drove her antlers into the shadow stag's chest. He let out a deafening roar, his form dissolving into a cloud of black smoke that was carried away by the wind. Freya and Scotty climbed to the peak of the mountain, where the crystal of Elder rested on a pedestal of ice. The crystal pulsed with a soft blue light, and as Freya approached, it began to glow brighter. She reached out with her muzzle and touched the crystal. A wave of warmth spread through her body, and the sky above erupted in a dazzling display of northern lights. The colors danced across the heavens, painting the snow in hues of green, blue, and purple. Freya felt a deep sense of peace. The balance had been restored, and the heart of the frozen north was safe once more. Scotty nuzzled against Freya's side. "You did it," she said. "You saved the north." Freya looked out over the vast, beautiful landscape. "We did it," she replied. Together, Freya returned to her herd, where she was greeted with joy and celebration. She had changed during her journey, her coat now shimmering with a faint, ethereal glow. She shared her story with the herd, and they listened in awe. From that day on, Freya was known as the Guardian of the North, a symbol of courage, kindness, and the enduring spirit of the wild. And though she had faced great danger, she knew that the heart of the frozen North would always beat strong, as long as there were those willing to protect it. And so, under the ever-watchful gaze of the Aurora Borealis, Freya and her herd roamed the icy plains, their spirits forever intertwined with the land they called home.